Tell me when. Rose. Hello, Tori. It's nice to see you again.
It's good to see you.
One of the first things that strikes me when I listen to your new album is that the piano doesn't seem to be the king anymore. Well, I should say the queen, because I think you like to talk about your piano as a girl, but there's a lot of interaction with other instruments. So what was the relationship between the musicians and the instruments this time?
She's very much a lover on this record.
Okay.
And she has relationships with different instruments. I've done 3 world tours where the piano has been predominant. And I really wanted to work with other players. Whether you get lonely, whether, you know, I've done the girl and the piano thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted the piano, there's no greater high than playing with great musicians and it working. Just to have communication with different people. I was so ready for that. With your ease and I doing my. This tour is not about repeating the last 3 tours. Obviously, I'll play some of the songs alone at the piano, but this is about a challenge. This is about if people that have come to the shows in the past, they can see how, you know, as a creative force, you have to try things or you become stale. You know, Zeppelin is my benchmark. This is not about polite and softly, softly. And it's not about just being loud either. It's that balance of when it needs to grab you by the throat, it can do that. I mean, my heroes were Jimmy Page. It's not about, and, you know, Peter Gabriel live. It's not about doing a live show with a band that's kind of adult contemporary. That isn't my interest.
Raspberry Swell is very contemporary, and I want to have your opinion on should songs make the test of time, or should they represent the era where they've been written?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think all songs are really a reflection of culture at that time. And some, when we look back in 20 years, you know, you have a smorgasbord of different sounds, but it was of the 90s, and it was of this time. And you really get a take on where people were thinking as a mass. You know, you have this record out, then you have something from Prodigy out, then you have something, and then you can kind of compare this to what was going, you know, if the Sex Pistols were out in the 70s, you get a different flavor of what was going on culturally.
Yeah.
And it's not about good and bad, it can't be. It just has to be about a mirror. When you're looking back saying, oh wow, all this was existing in 1998 at the same time.
Yeah.
How many fates turn around in the other I was very connected to the spirit of this baby. I miscarried at about 3 months, and it was very painful. I thought I was out of the woods. And there was a deep bond I had with the spirit of this being. And more than just that, there is a level of helplessness. You know, there was a level of the way it happened was just very, you know, I would have done anything I could to save the life of this being. But it was out of my hands, and I had to surrender, and I was truly helpless. And there's a love that I think, well, that I experienced anyway. My mother told me that some women do, some women don't. But there's a love that you feel for life inside you that you don't feel for any other relationship you have, because it's just so unconditional. It's so giving. It's so, I mean, it can be. And I had never experienced that before. So even though I lost the child, the love doesn't go away.
One thing you said not too long ago, that it's not true that bad things don't happen to good people. And that's something that a lot of people are reassuring themselves with. If I'm good, if I'm behaving well, if I'm a good person, nothing bad is going to happen to me.
I think what happens sometimes is whether it's religious institutions or these crazy political cliched concepts, that if you are loving and compassionate, all that means is that you're loving and compassionate. And you know what? It should make you feel good in that moment at that time. It doesn't mean devastating things won't happen. There are no guarantees. And I think that it's...
So it's not connected?
No, it's a lie to let people think that. And then I think there's a huge sense of betrayal that you feel towards the deities or the institutions that teach that.
6:58, I hear you.